If you've been injured in an accident here in Maryland, there's a lot of things that we can do here for you. One of the most important ones is taking all of that early on stress and the stress throughout the process off the table. You're probably already getting phone calls from insurance companies, different insurance companies. You don't know who's who and what's what. We take all of that off the table and handle it all for you. In fact, once we engage representation with you and let the insurance companies know, they won't contact you at all. They're not allowed to. So first and foremost, there's that. And that peace of mind and not having to deal with anything but starting to feel better for your injuries, that needs to be your focus. The other things that we do here, we make sure that your vehicle either gets repaired and minimize any sort of cost, including deductibles for that, and make sure that the care that you need, whether you went to the hospital, you took an ambulance, you've gotten physical therapy, you've gone to your doctor, any of those types of things, we make sure that they get paid for and that you get feeling better as quickly as possible. So there's a lot of benefits that you could be entitled to, and some of them are ones that you may or may not know about. Others are a mystery to some people. First of all, and it may seem odd to you, but you probably have coverage on your own insurance policy that will pay for time that you miss from work, for physical therapy, the ambulance, the hospital bills, or any of those things that you might accrue. You're also entitled, even if your insurance company pays some or all of those bills, to have the at-fault person's insurance company pay them as well. Now, this is something that if you're working alone with the insurance company, they're not going to want to tell you that because it means them writing you a bigger check. At the end of the day, you're entitled to it. So we make sure that our clients get exactly what they deserve in these cases. So when you miss time from work in an accident, there are a number of different factors. First of all, if you have personal injury protection on your own insurance policy, it will pay a percentage of your wage loss up and until the limits of that policy. With most companies, we can make sure that they will hold off paying any medical bills until they've paid your wages. We find that's very helpful for some of our clients. We also, at the end, with the at-fault insurance company, will get that money compensated there. You may also have long-term or short-term disability through your work or a variety of other resources to get that money quickly. You can use your vacation time, you can use your sick time if you have it. We can still get you compensated under the personal injury protection as well as in the settlement. So when you're looking at a time where you may go and be injured for an extended period of time, miss work in the future due to surgeries, physical therapy appointments, or things of that nature, it's important that you're communicating with your attorney and that we know what you're missing, when you're missing, and we have the appropriate documentation, both from your employer, saying that you make what you make, that you missed the time that you missed, from a doctor saying that you shouldn't go to work because of your injuries, and then we would, depending on what coverage is available, make sure that that was part of either the demand that we submitted to try to settle your case, part of the lawsuit, if we were to have to file suit and go to court, or if there is still personal injury protection, to make sure that that part of your policy pays out for you. So if you've been injured in an accident some time ago and you've sought some medical care, but maybe it's sparse or all over the place, you still are eligible to file a claim. As long as you haven't released the claim or signed a settlement agreement with the insurance company. In Maryland, generally speaking, you have 3 years from the date of the accident to finalize that claim or to file a lawsuit. Now, your medical treatment, there isn't necessarily a hard and fast time limit for when you need to get it, but it needs to make sense based on your injuries and that progression. Now, that's something that clearly we would discuss on a case-by-case basis, and every situation is very different. If you were partially at fault for an accident or contributed to it in any way here in Maryland, it's very difficult and it limits some of the benefits that you're eligible for. Maryland's a difficult state in that regard, but there are still benefits that may be available to you. Most of them will come from your insurance policy because the law here in Maryland prohibits you from collecting from the other insurance company if you're deemed to be even partially at fault. Things like personal injury protection that will pay for hospital bills, medical treatment, time missed from work, those types of things you'd still possibly be eligible for, as well as having your vehicle repaired or a rental, depending on the coverage that you might have. Those are things that we would talk to you about. Even if we didn't represent you for an injury case against the other side, we could help you with those. The best way for you to get information find out if you have a case, or have friends and family members contact me about even a little question, because we charge no fee unless we recover money. So if somebody has some questions and they don't have a case, it won't cost them anything. They can either call my office, 410-885-6200. Anybody in my staff will be happy to answer the questions, or if they can't, they'll get them to me. Or visit my website at bowerslawmd.com. That's Bowers Law and then MD like Maryland.com.